Welcome to VGMU's This Week in Gaming. I'm the Fury, and with me is Jet
What's up, guys?
and Maverick.
What up?
And today we're talking about This Week in Gaming. First headline, we're not the only ones having a good March. The gaming industry is booming right now.
So this month is a huge release month. I have no idea why. March used to be the dead time of year. It used to be complete garbage until about 2 years ago when Mass Effect 2 released at the right time. But this month, everyone's wallets are going to hurt if you like certain games. So we have a couple of sports games for baseball fans. We have Naruto. And then we have heavy hitters. So we got Tomb Raider, SimCity, a Castlevania, which harkens back to the old school stuff for the 3DS, Lords of Shadow. We have God of War, StarCraft, Gears of War, and BioShock. Now, the next few months after that are pretty much dead. But this month specifically is ridiculous.
It looks like you're gonna have to stock up and get your library up to date so you can kind of go the fast with all your games built up. I mean, I agree. It doesn't look like there's ever been something this crazy in terms of AAA titles that are hitting. I mean, we just had SimCity. We just had Tomb Raider. There's God of War. Yeah, I mean, you can't really beat what's coming out right now, and I'm not gonna have near enough money to buy everything that I want.
No. And like, I wish I did. I wonder if it's a Q4 kind of thing where, we got to get everything out and make our money and make shareholders happy. But I've just never seen a loaded month like this.
So is it a bad thing, you think, or?
For financially, yes, because I can't afford everything. So it's like I only have to pick and choose what I'm going to play, and it's probably going to be SimCity, Tomb Raider, and StarCraft, because I'm a sucker for collector's editions. But I really want to play Gears. I want to play Army of Two. I gotta get BioShock. But yeah, God of War is just like, fuck.
Well, to go back on what Maverick was saying is, what's the reason for this? And we got to look at the November time field last year. All these games get rushed out before Christmas, and a lot of the big hitters decided to push their games off into 2013. So that means BioShocks and all these other games are trying to come out sometime after February. And that just pushed all these games together. Maybe some of them are purposely launching, but I think a lot of them were delayed from last year.
That's a good point.
Yes,
I could see that, yeah.
So, yes, that makes another crunch on our accounts, but it makes us have to be smart and pick and choose.
Like
Well, I guess it
Steam
doesn't
deals
really
all over
matter.
again.
Yeah, because we could just wait until next month. I mean, the games are going to be there. It's not like we're going to lose them, so I guess whatever. It still would be nice to buy it at when it first comes out, but I digress.
Yeah, we all have an expensive hobby.
It's not like we're presenters for Video Game Mashup or nothing, and then we gotta go and buy our own games to try and review for you guys. And all of a sudden, it's like,
I don't know about you, but I wake up in my G6 flying over New York, and I just drop like 30 grand out the window because I'm just that rich, so I can buy all this stuff.
Because you can't. Well, so you're saying that you're constantly flying when you're sleeping.
Yeah, I fly all the time. I'm like Air Force One. I just fly all the time.
Man, that can get expensive, bro.
Money
Anyway,
burnt.
so of the games, the game I'm most excited for, and the money is going to be spent for me on BioShock Infinite. I wanted to get Tomb Raider. It looks great, but it's one of those games that I'm going to wait for. Of all the other games mentioned, I'm not thrilled with. I'm not really into. I'm not going to go out and spend the money, but BioShock Infinite looks amazing, and I cannot wait till the 26th.
Yep, BioShock. That's what I'm waiting for.
Yeah.
So talking about gaming in general, we move on to EA putting microtransactions into what was initially reported as every one of their games. They've quickly reversed that statement and released a new statement.
Yeah, the EA CFO Blake Jurgensen said, "quote I made a statement in the conference along the lines of, we'll have microtransactions in our games," and the community read that to mean all games, and that's not really true. Now, the problem is, being EA, monetizing is the end game for them. It's plain and simple. Why pay $60 one time when you could pay the 60 and more? Now, my only problem with it is if it starts taking away from the experience. My biggest case would be the Mass Effect 3 DLC that came with the collector's edition, where you were able to recruit a Prothean into your team. And it was so well written and well done. It felt like it should have belonged there from the start, but it wasn't. And people had to buy it if they bought the standard edition. That kind of thing kind of rubs me the wrong way.
See, I don't know why this is such a big surprise because these companies like Activision and EA have been kind of basically bending us over and doing this since the beginning. These companies, it's all about the bottom line. This $50-$60 that we have to pay for the game initially, they don't give a shit about. They want the micro. And unfortunately, if these big guys are doing more and more, the other companies are going to do it. I mean, let's just look at World of Warcraft in general. I throw that example out a lot. Activision, once they took over, they made microtransactions all over the place, and people paid the money. So if you don't like it as a gamer, if you think you're being ripped off, stop spending the money.
Yeah, but people are still going to buy it.
Right, and that is the problem is, while we might, have this stance, we're in this case we're the minority, and there is much more people who are going to go out, buy their Madden, buy their sports franchises, and drop the $5 to get their ultimate team going, or or the boost to their creative player. I mean, the average person is just going to do that, whereas we actually we consider ourselves to be more hardcore, and we are more hardcore than the average person, and we think about this kind of stuff from a different perspective. Now, to each his own. I have no problem with the average Joe Smo going out and spending that money here or there on these microtransactions and doing that kind of thing. But it's just not going to appeal to me. And you're right. I'm just not going to play these games that are going to have this system. And on that same side, I will play more games that have the system if the barrier to entry is lowered or eliminated, i.e., free to play. Which, I mean, if microtransactions are becoming bigger and bigger, which they are, and it's unstoppable at this point, we will see more and more free-to-play games, and we will see more and more games start using the microtransactions in place of the $60 purchase or the monthly purchase you have to make. So I'm all for that. It's just you have to be careful not to get into the pay-to-win sector, which is always awesomely stupid.
Right, but EA's not going to go that route. That's just not going to happen.
Well, yes, but one thing that we're glazing over is the fact is a lot of these DLCs are day one DLCs, and that means this could have been in the main game, or they distracted from actually working on the main game, making it maybe better, or working on a sequel, or working on a new project or IP. Instead, they're working on this DLC, and it's shifting focus from what could be something good. Now, don't get me wrong, some DLCs have been amazing. Like GTA 4's Ballad of Gay Tony was one of the best DLCs I've ever played.
Right, I mean, day one DLCs are always an interesting thing, because I think about it like, the only reason day one DLCs piss us off is because it's day one. If they would have waited a month, or if they would wait a month and then release the exact same content, no one would care. It'd just be DLC. Like, it wouldn't be a big deal. But the fact it's day one always strikes me. Now, it is shady. I agree. DLC.
Or if it's on the disc.
Or yeah. Exactly. If they just lock it out logically from you. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It's a shady practice, but again, all the timetable is the only thing we cry about. I mean, honestly, the DLC itself, DLC's not going anywhere either. So,
well, we're coming off as angry old man gamers, and yes, to a certain degree, we are jaded in this respect. But DLC can be a great thing. When you love a game so much, like Payday the Heist. They're offering free DLC for their game to support. Now, obviously, they weren't as big as maybe someone else, but companies like Valve, they offer their DLC, their extra map packs, and everything for free because they understand the game. Now, I'm not saying everything needs to be free; it just needs to be reasonable. Let's look at what the content is. If it's a level pack and there's maybe like 10 minutes of extra content, you're gonna charge me $15-$20 for that? Let's just charge for the amount of time we're gonna get out of it.
Yeah, unfortunately, the companies don't care how much time we get out of it. So if they thought that way, it'd be great, because then we'd have the DLCs that are shorter be a lot cheaper, and the DLCs that are a lot be more expensive. But no, they're just all expensive. So
I forgot we don't live in a perfect world where Steam rules the world.
No, sorry.
It's coming, Steam bucks.
Yeah.
Can't wait. Steam, do it big.
Kickstarter, I will put $100 down right now.
Well, let's move into our next headline, and our final headline for today. We put up a first 30 review of SimCity. Maverick here and Jet have been playing it as much as they can, quote unquote. But it looks like SimCity released with a lot of problems. You guys want to go into that?
Yeah, that'd be an understatement. People who purchased the game on Origin weren't able to download it at midnight, right when it released. But people that went out and bought it at a box store, they were able to go back home, install it from either the disc or link the CD key to Origin, and were able to get the game up and running before anyone else even could. The forums were down because people were complaining, just problems all over the place. They should have had better servers. At launch, they had 5. They had a North American West, East, Europe West, and then Oceanic. You know, the game's not even released over in Europe yet. Yet they have those. So both the North American servers were full. There were queue times. There were instances of, okay, so like server's full, you're going to get a 30-minute timer, and it's continuing to drop to reconnect. So you can't do anything on your own. And we ran into a case where the 30 minutes was up, and network error, cannot connect at this time. A new 30 popped up and kept running down. So we were just like, fuck this, let's play on the European servers. And we were able to play.
The Europeans was fine.
well.
It was great. Yeah,
Yes.
it was fantastic.
I was very surprised. I was a little scared there, but the servers are still cutting in and out. Today, Wednesday, the servers were down for maintenance. So it's like Blizzard. It's just, okay, it's gonna be down all damn day. Don't expect to play. We were able to play later on in the night, but servers are still going down. So Polygon had an article about it, and the Origin Twitter account told one customer, there's no estimated time right now, but we're working on resolving the issue. And they suggested, try changing servers. The problem is when you change servers, you're locked to that region. So if you play a game, it's tied to that server. So if you want to go to another one, you'd have to blow it up and make all new regions or play with all new people, all this stuff. And the Twitter account went on to say, any issues with Origin due to SimCity are affecting a small percentage of users. But everyone that I've run into that's playing this game, they all have it. There's not a single person that I know that is playing 100% smoothly.
They're just playing crowd control. They're just playing damage control. That's all they're doing. Because I'll tell you this: you just mentioned that the server or the forums went down within 30 minutes of one person posting on the forums that, hey, cannot download from Origin SimCity. That way, about 1,200 and something replies were posted in like 30 minutes. It was ridiculous. And then right after that, the servers went down for maintenance because the forums went down for maintenance. And then all throughout today, it's been hit or miss. I mean, we've probably actually maybe got about 30 minutes of game time for about an hour and 32 hours of trying to play. So I mean, it's
sad.
Yeah, you're making it hard, and again, I know we've talked about this this week at some point in time in the past. How hard is it to get the infrastructure up for a game you know is highly anticipated? I get it. It's going to be big. You probably have the numbers. You probably have the pre-orders numbers. You have the statistical data around, so you know what you need, but you still cannot deliver.
They fucked it up. But they knew it was coming. Where they even had North America 1. Another one won. The Europeans were both 1. So they knew that they were going to bump it up at some point. Why not have it day 1 instead of just having 5? I don't understand that. A week or a couple days prior, they had the closed beta for stress test. Now every MMO does that. But they knew this is coming. This is not some sort of surprise.
Yeah,
this game was getting a lot of hype.
It's Blizzard syndrome. I mean, Diablo 3, the exact same thing happened. Same thing happened.
I bought that the first night. I midnight launch over at GameStop. I came back, bought the collector's edition, of course, because that's my thing. And then I tried playing it, and they're down. And I'm up till 2 a.m., still down. 3 a.m., still down. I got to go to work in 2 hours. I was never able to play that day.
And it makes an extremely big difference when we're talking about DRM titles like both Diablo 3 and SimCity. Like you can't, or always online.
You can't play.
Not DRM. Always online, exactly. You can't play without the servers being on. So
my wife she wanted to watch me play a little bit, and I wanted to show her a little tutorial, and you can't even play the single player. Now I know weeks down the line when this is all resolved and fixed, I'll end up forgetting about it. But I can't even play single player, which just infuriates me.
Reminds me of Ubisoft.
I talk so much praise on this game to everyone that I talk to. Like, oh, you should buy it, you should buy it, you should buy it. The problem
Making it
is,
hard.
Yeah, you're making it very hard to sell this. It's going to get positive reviews all over the place. But the mention of the network issues day one and throughout the first week is going to be very minimal in those reviews. They'll just glance over it.
Well, I mean, it sounds like it's like Ubisoft's DRM. It's ridiculous where you can't connect to the internet, therefore you can't play the game. And I get it. They want to protect their IPs. They want to protect their content from being stolen and shared all over the internet. But it's like, at this point, you're just hurting the gamer. You're hurting your people who are purchasing, your customer. It doesn't make any sense.
EA has a 50-50 argument for the DRM. It's in their benefit. It's to promote the multiplayer and get you to interact with other users and really provide a positive experience. And when it works, it's great.
It's
awesome.
great. It's really good.
But the other 50% is when it doesn't work, you can't play anything. You can't do anything. You just get a brick for a game. So, I could see both sides of the coin. I really want this to work, but you have to have the infrastructure in place. If you don't, then it's going to be garbage. And right now, it's garbage.
Yeah, already I put in a decent amount of time. I think my log hours is 9 or 10. So I've been able to play, a fair amount. But throughout today, when I woke up and tried... No, I just had the launcher window, which, like I said, just reminded me of playing WoW back in the day. Just don't expect to play.
Forget it. Yeah. Well, check out our first review if you haven't already, and take it all with a grain of salt because, again, like Jet said, in a week you're gonna forget about it. It is definitely worth picking up and playing. So, again, check out the first 30. We'll have the annotation there. Let's move on to other news. Assassin's Creed 4 was released, or was the date and the everything about it was released, not actually the game. And it's titled Black Flag. It's going to be a numbered sequel. It's not going to be a, offshoot.
Yeah, spin-off.
So it's looking interesting. They're trying to bring it back to the old school Assassin's Creed because they know they've been kind of drifting away, and they admitted that, which is good. It's always nice for a company to take responsibility for its actions. So they've admitted they made a mistake, and they're trying to bring it back on track.
I just don't know how I feel about it. I'm a big fan of Assassin's Creed. I bought 3, and about halfway through, I just stopped caring. And it wasn't, the character, the locale, because I used to live in Virginia and revolutionary stuff. I love it. I can't get enough of it, but I guess I'm just burned out on Assassin's Creed. What I want is Desmond having honed all the skills necessary and just run in a modern day. I'm tired of going to the past. Now it's going to be, on the high seas and pirates and shit. That's great, but when is it finally going to be Desmond's time to shine? Because it was supposed to be like that, but then they had the Ezio spinoff. Let's make 2 sequels, and then let's just stop doing it with Connor, and let's move on to a new character.
I'm actually surprised that I am with you on this one. When Assassin's Creed 1 came out, I was all over that game. Assassin's Creed 2, boom, same thing. Me and Maverick here have a good buddy who is just in love with Assassin's Creed, and apparently for a lot of other people. But I feel the same way. I'm burned out from Assassin's Creed. You just kind of get to this point where you're playing it, you're enjoying it, and then you just stop caring about the story or the things, and you find yourself just randomly going around killing people, and then you're just like, why am I playing this game?
Well, I think the quality of writing, I almost want to say, went steadily downward, and I think to a point it just became a cash grab a little bit. I don't want to say that entirely because there is still some really good stuff with even 3. There is still good stuff.
Yes.
But
like I was telling you before,
as it was.
The writing it's somewhat okay, but I like how they have the history nailed, where the people are dying.
Oh yeah.
In the years that they were dead, that they were killed, and it's kind of it could be real, but it's not. And the new DLC that hit, the Tyranny of King Washington. It sounds very legit because that could have happened. There was a time where Washington could have just easily taken over. His men wanted him to take over, and Washington said, no, I didn't replace one king to be king myself. And it's great. I really want to play it, but I just don't care about Assassin's Creed.
So in other words, you're saying you have this scale.
Yep. Moving on. The Elder Scrolls MMO beta testing starts this month, later this month. If you want to go sign up, the annotation, click on it. But it is signup.elderscrollsonline.com. Check it out. It's obviously, I mean, anything Elder Scrolls gets a lot of buzz, but this especially since it's their first crack at the MMO scene. I mean, I hope they can do something, but you know, everyone
I got
just
a
pull it
bad
off.
feeling.
Bad
feeling.
Every game always hopes to break that MMO ice, but no
It
one's ever
doesn't.
done it since World of Warcraft. So
No, the problem that I always saw was when World of Warcraft got big, other companies saw it as, oh, hey, we have this license, X license, we can do that. So then they developed it that way to be like WoW 3 years ago. But everyone has since evolved, and it's just that type of MMO just doesn't work anymore if you're not WoW.
yeah, and for me, the MMO, the big AAA MMOs are 0 for 3 for me. Warhammer, garbage.
Yes.
Star Wars, garbage. And
Yes.
Lord of the Ring, more successful, but still garbage.
I was really hyped on Star Wars. This is a recurring theme, I bought the damn collector's edition.
No way.
Yes. And I started playing it, and I thought, oh, Star Wars, I love that. Oh, BioWare, I love that. But it wasn't the BioWare that I know. It's the BioWare of Dragon Age 2, where they cut corners and just kind of half-assed it. And it just felt empty, being in this huge universe. It makes so much sense where MMO, Star Wars, BioWare, how could this possibly get fucked up?
Well,
it did.
I think they kind of so they set out to be extremely ambitious, right? And everything was going to be a voiceovers and all this other stuff. And I think they just realized it's not feasible to do that. So then, now it's like, oh crap! Now we got to answer to all these angry people who are like, "Why is the game taking so long?" Blah blah blah. And we got to rush it out, and then it just ends up in something exactly half-assed. And it's not their fault. I mean,
No.
there are a few companies that can actually do that and get away with it. One of them being Blizzard. Blizzard can delay stuff to no ends, and people will still play it when it comes out. Another one.
Hold on. Blizzard could put shit in a bag and stick it in the oven, and then produce that, and people would buy it.
Yeah, exactly. And
I'd probably buy the collector's edition. God.
Because other
little
games,
shit doll,
other games like Gran Turismo, people just accept the fact that it's going to be delayed 50 million times and it's going to be out 5 years after they initially announced it. I mean, and I guess Star Wars didn't feel like they had that kind of pull, and they just cut the corner and they paid for it. So I'm hoping I want this to be 1 for 4. I want Elder Scrolls to come out and I want it to be a success. But I ain't holding my breath. I signed up for the beta. We'll report to you guys how it's like, but don't hold your breath either. Moving on. There was a rumor that flew around, you guys probably heard it, that because of the quote-unquote poor sales of Dead Space 3, the Dead Space franchise has been canned. And no. You're crazy. EA hasn't even released that kind of information to the public, so I don't know where they got this from. But Dead Space isn't going anywhere. Obviously, if you played the game, you know that there's a sequel coming, obviously. But, I mean, it ain't going nowhere. Don't worry about it.
Why would they cancel a game? Why would they cancel a game?
Especially a big IP like Dead Space. I mean, Dead Space single-handedly reinvented the horror, survival horror genre. I mean, everyone was tired of, the typical Resident Evil 18. And here comes, out of nowhere, Dead Space, and everyone is psyched about survival horror again. Granted, they're less about survival horror nowadays. It's kind of more action with Dead Space 3, but, I mean, still, it's a big IP. EA knows what it's doing. It's not about to can one of its biggest IPs.
Well, I wonder if it's just a question of how much development costs to X sales. Because I think we just live in a day and age where if games aren't selling Call of Duty numbers or anything like that, or it's just a bust. Let's cut our losses. Like Darksiders. Darksiders 1 was really good, and it got a sequel, and the second one didn't do so hot, and that was done. Let alone THQ going belly under. But it's just that's the kind of the time that we live in now. I really like Dead Space, but like you said, it ends kind of the way there's gonna be another one. It's gonna happen. They'll make another one. We're fine. Everyone's fine.
Yeah.
No one freak out. There's more.
Start selling your stocks in EA.
Yeah.
God, they're selling everything.
Well, now we want to look at real quick what we are playing as gamers. We are all about the gamer for the gamer. That's why we're here. What are we playing? Start off with you, Matt.
Well, Dead Space 3, as just mentioned, me and Jed are going through the co-op right now. having some fun with that.
Yo,
SimCity.
were you guys freaking out? It's awesome. Oh god.
Yeah, guys, I will say this: they did a really good job with some of the co-op missions. Yeah, they're kind of shallow, and yeah, they kind of repeat levels. But the way they kind of have one person interact with the other, or not interact with them when stuff's happening, I won't spoil it too much. But it's good. It's good stuff. So check out the co-op missions if you have a buddy. SimCity, we're trying to play that. We're desperately trying to give EA our money and play their game, but it's really hard.
Work in progress.
And then of course the stereotypical DayZ action never stops. By the way, we do have our own VGMU hosted server. It will be in the annotation as well as the description if you guys do want to check that out.
Play with us. For me, it's pretty much the same list. Except I added Crisis 3. I don't know. I really like Crisis 1. I always want a computer that can handle it on Ultra. That's just a pipe dream. That game is just too godly for my machine at the moment. Crisis 2 I didn't really play, but this last one I don't know. I'm just not digging it though. The advertisements just make it seem a little, I don't know, way off than what it originally intended to be. It's like rock music playing. It's like a fucking Call of Duty commercial going on, and I stopped playing it and I returned it to GameFly. I'm done.
Ouch.
Yeah, that's probably the biggest letdown that I've had. So I'm excited for Tomb Raider that should be coming in today. That'll be on my list, and we'll see where that goes.
And me, the Fury, I have been extremely busy with work, and I'm actually planning a trip, so I'm all over the place right now. I have not had a lot of time to play games. I had been playing Battlefield 3. That's a staple of mine. I kind of gave it up for this week. Also, the typical DayZ action, which is always fun. I've been going into Max Payne, though, the original, and playing a little bit in 3, and kind of getting towards a few videos coming up here in the future. And that's pretty much all I've been playing.
Yeah, not too much. Last segment for you guys. We're just going to go over real quickly on the game releases to keep you guys up to date. Battlefield 3 Endgame DLC for PS3 premium users out March 5th, which was yesterday. Same thing with Tomb Raider and SimCity. Obviously, you guys know that. Castlevania Lord of Shadow, Mirror of Fate, also on the 5th. It's amazing how much stuff has come out on the 5th. And then if you thought the 5th wasn't bad, check out the 12th. Endgame again for the last DLC for Battlefield 3 coming out for the rest of the platforms premium March 12th because PS3 gets that week of exclusiveness to the DLC. God of War Ascension for the PS3 out March 12th. StarCraft 2 Heart of the Swarm, the expansion coming out March 12th as well. And Sniper Ghost Warrior 2 for all platforms March 12th. So get ready to pony up all that monies.
Yeah, it's going to hurt your wallet just like this week, right?
Yep.
It's a great time to be a gamer. It's a great time.
Yeah, it is. It really is. But on that last note there,
careful, there's copyright infringements happening. Careful, Jeremy.
I almost said something I shouldn't. Top Gear fans should know what I'm talking about. But on that shell of bomb, I have to say thank you for tuning in. This has been This Week in Gaming number 3 with VGMU. I'm the Fury. With me is...
Yeah, this is Jet.
Why does it not get old? This is Maverick.
Never
Catch
does.
you guys later.
See you guys.
Thank you for tuning in. Like, subscribe. Peace.